Hello friends, welcome back. When I look at the statistics, it has shown that the rate of marriage has been significantly declined. In China from 2014 to 2019, the marriage rate has declined so much until 0.7%. And it almost reached the marriage rate in North America. And all around the world, the percentage of single people for the age of about 15 almost reached 50%. This is a trend we cannot ignore. And when I watch YouTube videos, I see more and more people talking about, say, women in their late 30s and being single. So I myself just turned 38 recently. Today I feel like I finally reached a point where I can talk about this topic openly and share some of my thoughts. First, I'd rather choose the word unmarried than single to discuss this stage of life when you basically are not having a significant other. Single makes people see an image of someone being alone, not being involved with in a social setting. But in fact, it can be quite opposite. There are numerous topics about lonely versus single versus alone. There are different concepts. So we all know that. Just as in the past, woman was mistaken as a man with no penis, and so be considered the second gender. So same thing, I tend not to use the word single because single people tend to be perceived as a human without the partner. So I'd use the word unmarried. That's the first. So second, what is about the purpose of life? The purpose of life is not the chances and happenings in this world, it's how our soul have progressed. Life is never supposed to be easy because this life is a journey, it's a workshop, it's not a gallery. It's not a salon for sure. So being not able to get married is one of the numerous challenges in life that sometimes we have to face. I talk about this from a perspective of I myself wanted to get married and have children in my early 20s. I've been actively meeting people in all kinds of ways I could think of. I put 30 as my deadline. However, I ended up 38 and I still am not married. I am meeting people. I have fabulous educational background. I studied technology and business. I have great hobbies. I'm doing sailing and I'm part of a rescue team, dancing, etc. Being very creative and has a rational mind. Great network from being to prestige schools and traveled. So I'm talking about this not to brag, but to say sometimes you just haven't met that person. It's not about you have some kind of defect. Yes, we are all growing and we can always grow to be better. That is why we're living this life, right? The experience of not being able to get married, not being able to find that suitable partner to enter marriage, to develop, raise a family with, it doesn't mean that the person is inadequate or in some way less blessed than the married person. And the same for having children. It's an experience in life, but it doesn't define the depth or the quality of life. Life can be lived in many different ways. A person can live life in a spirit of service, selfless service for the community, for the nation, and for the world. Some people they may not be a celebrity or being recognized by a mass population, but they themselves are heroes in their own life. So the purpose of life is definitely not marriage, yet marriage is significant and is a great tool to serve the society and to have like fulfilling life if you are doing it in a proper way. Talking about this topic of purpose of life, a topic came to me, a topic of people not being able to stay in the marriage. Sometimes I tend to think that, we don't don't know what is good for us. As a human being, our understanding is limited. When we meet challenges in life, we didn't know how that would benefit us at the end, especially when it doesn't happen as we expected. Same, if you stay in a marriage, you may not think the marriage is good for you. You may not like the struggle, especially in North America. This is such huge connotation of being comfort. You see it in medical field, you see it in commercials, just full of this kind of not real, not facing reality of life, this kind of sense immersed in the public discourse in North America especially. But like even a marriage, for example, sometimes people do need to exit a marriage, but it doesn't mean if you are miserable in the marriage, to leave is the solution. It doesn't mean that it can justify to divorce. So same. So if we look really resort to life is a process of getting to know the universe, to know our creator, and to live gracefully, beautifully, to contribute to the environment, and at the same time develop our own soul to prepare us. And all the situations like marriage or difficulties, unmarried, all those are just situations which help us grow. And the key is really how to have the faith and how to continue living a beautiful life and continue contributing in the process of it. I know for women who is in late 30s, like where I am, sometimes it feels like the biological clock is ticking. Same for men. When men turn 40, there is a sense of mortality, and some men have this middle age syndrome. So I think sometimes it's not, on the surface, it may seem to be about marriage and children, but it may be just to face the concept of aging, to face the concept of mortality. But the beauty is our soul is not mortal. Our soul exists forever, and we're going to pass through all the worlds, like not all, but numerous worlds in the universe, and which we will like grow in all kinds of ways that we would never ever expect when we're in this world, right? When we die, the guarantee is we're gonna have a surprise. Just like a newborn baby would never imagine what the baby would be exposed to in this world, we will never imagine the freedom in the next world and the worlds to come. So when think about this, think about how we came to this world in the spiritual realm and also in the physical realm. Our ancestors in the past thousands or even longer years of time, and think about this challenge today. It looks immense challenge. It looks huge, but it's actually not. Sometimes in a Western society, there is this discourse about individualism, saying, "Oh, you don't have to be happy. You don't have to be like happy to be with someone." Also, I would say yes, we are human beings. We are supposed to be social and not to be isolated and be alone from the society. But it doesn't mean that we have to be happy without interacting with other people. We are supposed to interact with other people. So you see, when it come to the topic of being, 38 and female, not married, the topic can really vary many aspects. It can sound in all kinds of ways, but deep down, it is about to remind us what is the true purpose of life and how to face life challenges. When things don't happen as we expected, how are we going to align ourselves with the purpose of universe? And how are we going to keep an open mind and continue focusing on what matters most to us to transform this struggle and frustration sometimes, or anxiety, whatever it is, in life, to transform and transcend this feeling to something positive and useful. This is what I'm thinking. And when one can recognize that and at the same time be patient, and to be patient and for oneself to go through those frustration and difficult time, and to get social support, to be brave in expressing oneself, and learn how to speak, think, and write, and all those ways are how we can grow. It's such a huge topic. I feel like I have so much to say, especially on tactical level, how to live happily as a single person. But this video, I will focus on the strategic side. So I'll title it as Fulfilled, 38, and Unmarried. I have a sense this is a hot topic, so please comment on your thoughts below. Let's explore this topic together. I think this is a growing social phenomenon that really worth to explore, and it's better not to suffer in the silence. And I think it's positive to express our feelings and feel and face our true vulnerability and voice out. What do you think? Before I see you next time, I wish you happy holidays. Maybe you, depending on where you live, you may preparing for Thanksgiving, Christmas. So before that, see you next time.